back here at the 2024 USAFL National Championships from Austin, Texas. We're into Men's Division III now as the Arizona Hawks take on the Chicago Swans. The Hawks, Division III champions in 2021, trying to get the job done here with the help of reserves from the Sacramento Suns. Brian Barish back here with Dan Sarbacker from the USA Revolution national team, as well as the head of the USAFL IP. And Sars, one of these teams you know pretty well, of course, you're yourself a former member of the Swans.
Yeah, finished up my club career there. And very grateful those guys let me drive down from Madison. I went back to Madison for grad school, and there wasn't the Wombats club didn't exist at that point, so finished up my footy there.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Swans, of course, been around since. Very interesting story they have been, and you could probably shed a little bit more light on it. There was them. There was a team called the Chicago Mob, I think, at one point. Then there was the Chicago Sharks, and they all came together. At one point, they were known as
Illinois Ironmen.
Ironmen, yes. And
Yep.
then at one point, they were known as Chicago United. In fact, the first time we were here in Austin, we played them under that name, and since, of course, they've kind of coalesced, and now they are back to being the Swans. They have been for, I think, since at least 2012 or 2013.
Yeah, I think they've got probably the strongest model of a Metro comp within the Chicago Swans club, which ends up being their representative side. They play, I think it's a 4-team comp, neighborhood, neighborhood based. I don't know, it's not pure geographic there, but they call the Wrigleyville team or I forget the 4 they have.
I think the Lincoln Park Rhinos might be one, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So won a premiership with the Metro comp that I played with, going down on Fridays for games with them during my time with the Swans. I think that's been a successful way for them to build, minimize travel for some of the guys and build the club a bit.
It looks like we're waiting for looking for timing and scoring at the moment. I think is one of the things we're waiting on there. That's where they are. Because what we have is we have volunteers that do the timing and also the scoreboard. So I think we're just waiting for them. The Arizona Hawks, we'll talk about them. They reached their highest high, I think, in 2003 when they won 2004 when they won the Division II National Championship. No, I think it was 03. It was the year, no, it was 04. Yeah, it was 04 where that they beat Philadelphia by 2 points to win Division II. They have won Division III before. They won Division III back in 2011. In addition to here in Austin, actually, they defeated Atlanta, if memory serves correctly.
Brian had an update from the field behind us. We mentioned that game was going on. The combined St. Louis, Wisconsin Wombats, Cincinnati, Louisville side ended up coming from behind on a victory in the second half there.
Wow, that's exciting. And we talked about the games on Saturday morning, how some of them are exciting and some of them are some of them aren't as much. And we of course the game that you and I called the Division IV match was a bit one-sided, but it's good to see a good come from behind victory. Well,
yeah, tight contest there. I think finished 17-9.
Yeah, it's a good low-scoring game in the Well, we've mentioned the temperature in the last game. We'll tell you, of course, that the high today forecast, according to the little computer on my wrist, is 93 degrees. Currently, it is 70. It is supposed to go up It's supposed to go up 5 degrees by the time this game ends.
5 degrees an hour. I think we're right on pace. It was 65 when you and I put the microphones on an hour ago. Sun wasn't fully up, but we've got no shade on the field now. The dew is baking off. Very, very light breeze. It's super pleasant right now, but we'll crawl into the oven in a few hours.
Not much of a wind to speak of. It's only about 6 miles an hour. We're just, again, waiting for, I think we're waiting for somebody to get to come over and do the scoring, as we mentioned.
Scoreboard's reset. I think that's a good sign.
So that's a good sign. All right, we're almost set to go, and we should mention that each of the teams is required to provide timers, scorers, and occasionally boundary umpires, although here on Field 1, we do have actual honest-to-goodness umpires, as we are set to go. Are headed towards the Onion Creek side to the right of screen, while the Arizona Hawks in the mark by the Swannies. Just getting that one away up on the far side there was are going in there. A little bit of a tussle in there, but winning that one again is Roland Garcia Curran, who had the football. He's been told to play on, sending this one down the line, and a lot of play up on that far side in the 1+ game that we've called so far. As that one is sent back from whence it came, as Williams goes after the football now for Arizona, and the ball tumbles out, and we'll have a boundary throw in right in front of the Cooper's beer tent, which is not quite open yet, but will be at some point. And of course, Cooper's our national sponsor. This is their 25th year. Australia made and owned Cooper's beer. They've been around. They've been with us since the year 2000.
Yeah, we had an inquiry. Was open yet? Not quite, folks. For everyone listening at home. You can tap your own refrigerators whenever you choose to, but for those here, not quite yet.
And Total Beverage Solutions, which of course has provided the beer for us for a long time. I'd love to tell you, but I did see Michael Sherman, who's here. Michael, I think that's his last name, Michael Shearer, who was here. I hadn't seen him in a while. The last time I saw him was he and I. This will warm the cockles of your Wisconsin heart. We were at the Milwaukee Public Market eating a giant cheese and sausage plate.
There's some things we do well in Wisconsin: cheese and sausage.
And those are two. And it had pretzels too. It had some pretzels as well.
Another thing we do really well is the German breads.
And I went back to that place and I did not get it because I was by myself. As this one is taken by Darren Henderson, Daza, who has the football. He is the veteran member of this team, and I'll tell you what, he's got a couple of years on both you and I, and he still moves and marks and kicks really well.
That was actually a really nice entry into 50, although completely flat. That was a lateral entry into 50. They saw that opening, and their big man there able to take that grab, and he's taking a shot from about 40 out.
And his future is so bright that he has to wear shades. Unfortunately, it does not help him there because I believe that has gone through for a behind, waiting for the signal from umpire, unless that came back out. No, there was a 50 meter. Yeah, he did. There was a 50 meter in front, and there. So that he gets a second chance, and well, you'll have to forgive us. I didn't see because I had been watching the play. Did not see. I imagine he may have come over the mark, and we'll explain what that is in a moment. But Arizona strikes first blood. They go to 1-6. No score for the Swans. That's on the Payable App scoreboard.
Yeah, that one, I don't want to say it snuck up on us, but the neither side had really had deep penetration or any pressure really on the sticks. But with the penalty paid there, now we've got some points on the scoreboard. Brian, we chatted about these two clubs in the Nationals reveal. Arizona may be kind of the odd one out in terms of old Moffel clubs. Nashville, Chicago, and who else do we have in this division?
Well, we'll bring it up in just a moment, as this one is up on the far side now and going after it.
The Freeze, maybe, is that our?
Yeah, the Freeze is it. Yeah, the Freeze is the third one is the other one in this group. We'll tell you that this is a Pool A match. Minnesota and Nashville is in Pool A. The 4 teams in Pool B, who are all of 8 Division III matches. Division III teams are in action right now, with Philadelphia taking on North Texas and Calgary playing Los Angeles. And I'll tell you what, we mentioned this on the reveal show. Wide open in Division III. There's a lot of good teams on both sides. Philadelphia, I think they've got pretty much most of their good players. They're augmented by Baltimore. You look at North Texas; they've been improving every single year. They've went from the first year they were here, when we were here with them 3 years ago, they were winless. They're the 2 seed, so they might be a little bit better.
Yeah. Always interesting to see how these shake out, and there's always a ton of anticipation. It was really fun doing the reveal show with you this year, and we got tons of comments on that. Folks giving us a hard time about calling Nashville a Midwest side, but that's from the old Moffel days. Probably half of those people were born. The proof's in the pudding, right? Finally get to the morning.
Picked up and sending this one for goal was 34, who we don't have, and he has put it right through the middle, and we're all square here at Onion Creek Park. 1-6 each of 2, Chicago and Arizona. Good job of picking that one up, and I'd love to tell you who that was, but I don't have anybody with the 34, so you'll have to take our word for it.
Yeah, apologies to his mom and grandma who might be tuning in and hoping to hear his name called, but great effort to bend over, collect that ball, snap around the body there, probably from about 30 out. Chicago hitting the board there and equalizing.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how they do. You know, there's been a team, in fact, they might correct, I'm going from memory here, but they have not won. They won Division III back in 2012, so they're looking to do that here. 2018. That 2018 Division II was actually really fun. There was 9 teams in that division, in Division II that year, 3 groups of 3. So we had like a wild card situation, like in baseball, almost taking the mark and getting knocked down from behind. Going after this one, the Bloods have a lot of crumbing. Just got his left foot for the ball. Good job of playing goalie and then conceding the ball out of bounds. Just in the back there was Tim. How much is that Duckworth? And we'll have a boundary throw in coming up. In fact, no, he has shuffled that one through for a behind, but a good play by Duckworth when the Swans put them all sorts of under the puck. Go to 1-1-7 over Arizona, 1 straight 6.
Maybe each other out, trade a goal either way, and suddenly the intensity just like ratcheted up a notch.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're still early in the morning. These players, especially a team like Arizona, where it is, well, I think, I'm trying to think of because they don't do daylight time, so I think they're still 3 hours behind us. So they're 2 hours behind. But either, so they're 1 hour, well, they're 2 hours behind us. Where we sit. But either way, I think he's Googling it. But either way, it's still an early start for them, and it is really tough for some of these West Coast teams coming across. So as the ball is marked inside, and they'll have another chance, will the Hawks. Going back, and we'll take a look and see who has it. But they have an opportunity to regain the lead with a straight kick, or he can tie it. Lining up. Love watching some of these. He takes his time. He has 30 seconds. Oh, love the skip, the hop, the kick. I think he got under it just a little bit. It swatted through for a behind, and the scores are level once again. 1-1-7 Chicago, 1-1-7 Arizona as we move through here. About 8 minutes gone here in the first term.
Really effective clear there. That's a common tactic where you punch the ball and concede the 1 point instead of the 6. So Swan's a good job to punch that out of the air back through for a behind.
Big tackle in there by Alex Fernandez, and on Alex Fernandez. It may have gotten a little high, and he is getting up slowly. Alex Fernandez been one of the key midfielders on this Arizona team. He earns the free kick for a high tackle, puts the ball in the play. It's a knuckleball, sent that one in, but there was contact in the contest, and it is a free kick, and Michael Grogan, who was the intended target of Fernandez's kick, will get a chance. By the time he kicks it, I think, SARS, we're looking at probably about a 45-meter or so kick. The wind is blowing left or right. You can probably see the flags blowing to the right of your screen, and that is where Grogan sends it into the pocket, and it is marked. In fact, it has gone out of bounds, and it will have a boundary throw in.
Yeah, you mentioned the wind, Brian. Just starting to pick up a little. Those flags are really still for the first game, but that kick there started right, finished further right.
Ball comes back in the play. There's Henderson. Handball up over the top. Really a desperate handball. Grogan is with it. He gets held up. Just, again, a wild handball as that one is sent across the face looking for Henderson. And Hendo takes the mark 20 meters out from a 45-degree angle.
Recipient again of a really kind of unorthodox but interesting pass across the face. That's completely flat lateral kick. But he's on the other end of it, so they've got a nose for where their big target is.
He strides forward, waits, now arches the back. Not really, didn't have to run the scoreboard. 1-1-7 Chicago, a very good in the first part of this first half developing here in Division III on Cooper. Dan Sarbacker, our thanks to him for joining us. Our thanks to you as well. Mentioning a couple of our sponsors. We mentioned, of course, our presenting sponsor, Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Of course, we're here in Visit Austin, the live music capital of the world, and it's the 5th time we've been here in Austin, here at Onion Creek, and always a treat to come here to deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah, ACL's on. Wonderful, wonderful town. Being from Madison feels very really vibrant vibe to it, so glad to be here.
Peter Abernathy taking the mark for Arizona, trying to send this one down as they kick towards the tournament central end, and that one is picked off and by the Swans. They're going to try and switch the scenery here, dropping this one out in front. It's going to take him 2, 3, 4, 5 tries to get the ball, finally does, and finds the target of the number 34, who has the football now. I thought I heard them say Luca, but I don't have any of them, so you're just going to have to take my word for it as the ball gets kicked this one down. Yeah, there's nobody for that one. A good mark taken there by Chukshi, who has the football. That's Rushil Chukshi, one of their newer players. Handballs it back to Halliday. Josh Halliday sends that one in. Going to get sent in, and a big collision in front. There again is a Chukshi, who had from Tim Herman, who's played all over the place. In fact, he's a former Arizona Hawk, is Tim Herman, also a former Philadelphia Hawk. We'll have a ball up.
Really effective build-up from Frazier there in the back. Took a few tries to pick the thing up, but got an effective kick away. Nice centering pass after that. Swans string 3 kicks together and then get the tie up there right at 50. Looked to be about maybe another one here.
Nope. This one goes in now. There's a late. I thought I heard a late whistle, but it's from one of the other fields as this one is cleared out now. Good job by the Hawks to parry this one away. And once again, that guy's all over the place. Nope, he dropped the pill. Going to get played on. And Fernandez has the football for Arizona. Tries to get it forward. It's like aggro twister out there. Left foot green, right hand green, left foot sand, I guess. And now back the other way. That's one of the Sacramento players. In fact, that is Villami Taipoletti, whose wife Jenna, not with us this year, but played with the Sacramento Suns women's team as this one comes out to the near side. A little handball, but good job of smothering it there again by Nick Hall. He goes into the middle of the ground. Very impressed by Nick Hall in the past years at the Western Regionals, but all of that has gone to you-know-where as Cooper Lees picks it off.
Swans having a little luck building up this near side. They're working west to east from the headquarters tent towards the Onion Creek side here. They built up the right side here, the near side boundary for us effectively a couple times. Arizona bending but not breaking, though.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're keeping things in there. Of course, Watch AFL scoreboard 13-7. Watch AFL, of course, our scoreboard sponsor for the 3rd year running. And we'll tell you that if you want to catch all the action, especially with AFLW happening as we're getting towards the pointy end of that season, of course, your subscription will get you all through next year's men's season, as well as the finals for next year as well. As the free kick will come down the middle of the ground, right through the hands of the 34. Going to go for a little handball there. And getting that one on was Martin Mundia from the Sacramento Suns. I'm pretty sure Martin, I could be a different one. I think he played for one of the Texas teams offhand, but I'm not. I
want to say Dallas back in the day.
Yes, and he may have played for North Texas too at one point.
And then some time in Orange County. Yeah, he's an old-timer in the league.
Yeah, not that he looks like it at all, but this one is sent in by the Hawks. Here they come, going all the way back to try and play center field, but I think that one's going out on the full. In fact, it has, and chasing that one back was Jed Martin for the Chicago Swans.
Kudos to the select. First part of this game, you kind of feel like either one has had a chance to pull ahead a little bit, then the other steps up defensively and thwarts it.
Yeah, this is actually a 1-8 game, believe it or not. As the way that they try and do it is 1, 4, 5, and 8 are in Pool A, and then Pool B has 2, 3, 6, and 7. But it is very difficult when you get down to Division 3. You expect, especially a lot on Saturday mornings, we mentioned at the top, we expect there to be most of the games to be one-sided. We've already seen the one game here with the Denver Bulldogs Columbus Devils reserves by a pretty good margin. But then you have what we saw on the field behind us where, as you mentioned, it was a come-from-behind victory and it was a close game. So really, I mean, that's I'm part of it. I don't think. I mean, I basically am a consultant because I've seen all the teams. It's not an easy job.
Here the Swans building up, solid 450 entry here, and that's the siren next door to us. We're going to apologize for that. We keep hearing whistles, but if you've never been to Nationals, we got 5 ovals crammed into this park, and we're right next to the boundary of the J.
It is, you are at Nationals when you hear a whistle and and it's not your field. I will tell you, and I will put the disclaimer. Time that I mentioned is completely unofficial. By my watch, we have 16 minutes gone in this 20-minute quarter, so 20-minute half. We are playing 20-minute halves here, and we will tell you as well, as the weather gets warmer, SARS, there is the distinct possibility, but that is a question for a later hour, and meanwhile the Swans have off of the foot now of Evan Danilo. Danilo, by the time, is at about a 45-degree angle. By the time he kicks it, he'll be roughly. And that one is right through. A sausage roll by Evan Danilo, and we are tied once again here at Onion Creek Soccer Complex.
100% spot on for us here in the match we're watching. These sides have been very level. Oh, they awarded that a behind.
Oh, did they?
So maybe bad luck there. I thought that was through. We had a pretty good angle on that.
And I thought, and it could be my failing eyes, but I thought he had pointed 2 fingers. So we will adjust the score and tell you it is 13-8. It is still very much a close game.
Yeah, Swans starting to string some kicks together here. It's been a really different game in the first one we watched, where the intensity and the pressure was so high. This one, guys finding the open opportunities. They're picking up the football, connecting foot to foot. More than one occasion, the Swans have strung 3 or 4 marks together.
139 is another behind score, so it should be 139 Chicago, 2-1-13 Arizona. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Folks, I've got 4 eyes and a binocular. None of them work, so that's how it works here. It's also 9 o'clock. It's almost still on East Coast time, and we're only an hour ahead. So
we're using our breaks still to get caffeine in us, though. We got a long day ahead. But
first 4 matches, of course, on this field, and of course, we'll tell you can always jump over to Field 2 and watch the matches there. Just looking at the game, that's the other 2 teams in this group, and again, Division 4, whereas we mentioned. These teams will play the other 3 teams in their grouping. 2 games today, 1 game tomorrow. As here they come. Here once again is a shot on goal by Danilo. This is a little bit better, and there is no mistake. That's a goal. And now the Swans are in front, and they lead by 2 points. Watch AFL scoreboard. I called them the Swans. I don't know why. The Swans, they're doing fantastic. They lead 2-3-15 to 2-1-13.
Delivering frozen nuggets to your door. The Swans truck. Danilo didn't leave the umpire any decision to make on that one. It was straight over the umpire's head. He might have felt a little hard done by that previous call, but they hit the front here with a straight kick.
For a minute, I sounded like my grandfather. Listen, here's how football fields, and then you'll be there. That is actually something he said, and I don't think the man ever.
Is that a measure equivalent to a country mile?
It probably is, I imagine. But he was from South Philly. Good one, folks. This is love to see a good game on Saturday morning. And, of course, the good folks here, we're bringing you 36 games over the course of 2 days, as we have 80 matches to bring you, 80 matches here. Of course, if you are Boston City Lights, come and join us here. We'll have the Cooper's Beer Tent opening. in a couple of hours. As SARS mentioned, we've already had a couple of people wanting to know when the beer tent opens. And you know what? I don't know if you. I'm going. I don't know if you're going. You going to the soccer game tonight?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I'm
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it. Yeah.
U.S. men's national team are taking on Panama a little bit later on, so it'll be fun to go and watch. Haven't been to that stadium yet, so it'll be interesting to see.
The hope and optimism of a new coach at the helm, and can we win the World Cup with him?
Yes.
Brian, thanks to everyone that's at home, and probably ones that have been to nationals and are tuning in because they miss it. Certainly, yeah, we wish you were here, but glad you're tuning in at home. Those that haven't been to nationals, trying to paint the picture for you. 5 ovals here at the park. Games going on constantly. I got the Wombats are sitting in the shade next to me here and waving high after a victory this morning. They're resting between games. This is one of the best parts of nationals. Is everyone, all the teams are around. I look 360, Brian, and what a great atmosphere.
It really is, and I'll tell you. I'm gonna hint at something. We can't announce it yet, but we will tell you that later on tomorrow we will announce where nationals is going to be in 2025.
Beauty.
We know where it is. We can't say it yet, but we will make that announcement.
Is it in the U.S.?
Yes. It is in,
There's your hint.
There's your hint. It's in the continental U.S. Halftime of this one as the Arizona Hawks trail the Chicago Swans 15-13. We're going to come right back for the second half of this one. You're watching the 2024 USAFL National Championships powered by Gridiron Productions here on USAFL.com.
The USAFL 2024 Nationals is brought to you by Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Cooper's, Australian made and owned. Cooper's Beer. Visit Austin, live music capital of the world. Two Hands Hospitality, fueling your lifestyle. Watch AFL, stream every match. Devil's Corner, Tasmania. HBC Event Services. Play Aussie. Premier Sports Medicine, and by the Movember Foundation.
Second half of this one between Arizona and Chicago here at Men's Division III. The 2024 USAFL Nationals is underway. The Swans hanging on to a 2-point lead, 15-13 over the Arizona Hawks. The Swans in the red now kicking from right to left on your device of watching choice, kicking towards the tournament central end, while the Arizona Hawks kicking towards the right screen towards Onion Creek. And here come the Swans with an early inside 50, almost taking the mark and going A over proverbial T. There was Timmy Herman as he has the football now over up on the far side. Going after that one, and the ball is gone out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in directly across from us. Brian Barish alongside USAFL International Program Head Dan Sarbacker. And Sars, you know, we mentioned a couple of times, it's good to have a close game on Saturday morning.
Brilliant, man. There's not much between it. 2 points on the scoreboard. I'm guessing they both got the same fire-up speech at halftime because they both came out with incredible intensity. We'll see how long that can last. But yeah, close match here.
There will be a spray or two, I'm sure, during the course of this weekend from each of the 45 coaches. On a day like today where it's going to be hot, you would hear a spray and you would think that it's a that would be very helpful. But I explain, perhaps it's a slang. What is that a slang for?
Yeah, you're getting an earful from the coach. Would probably be the G-rated version.
Yeah. Although usually in a spray, the actual spray is not G-rated.
No, it's somewhere further up the scale of motion picture ratings. Adult only.
I'm waiting for the word for that term to be used in Bluey. I am waiting for it because all the other ones are, and you know, and it's a good way to pick up Australian slang. We have a free kick here for the Hawks as. Going back, I believe that's Ryan Ludo. No, that's not Ryan Ludostansky. He's never had a mustache in his entire life as he goes and plays on and sends this one down the wing in towards this little bit inboard. It's going to work out for them. Getting spun around there is going after it. That was Preston Linzer going against Ian Frazier, and Frazier may have, Linzer may have won the free kick. We'll double check.
Tied it up there, I think. Frazier's been resilient there at fullback for the Swans.
Ball goes back in the air once again as that was Grogan, who is in on an opportunity in the first half for the Hawks. They'll get the ball again. We'll have a ball up.
Big kick to enter 50 there, and Swans were happy to tie that up to see if they can build out. They're breaking away here.
Out to the near side now as the ball will come. It's going to get picked up on the run by Abernathy, who's going to send this one inboard. Everybody goes chasing after it, and the ball has gone out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in. It will occur about 10 meters around. Of course, we'll talk about the jumpers in just a moment. That's one of the things. This is a good place to go jumper watching because the teams have the different signs that are very similar to AFL clubs. Of course, we've got the Hawks and the Swans, two teams that are represented in AFL. The Sydney Swans, of course, the finalists of the AFL. You might be saying, oh, this is a Hawks team wearing brown and gold. Well, one, that's the domain of the Philadelphia Hawks, and secondly, those are the colors of the state of Arizona.
Yeah, really interesting. I think the creativity of the jumpers design and stuff in the States is a lot of fun. Oftentimes clubs are started and named for the local club's founders side that they barrack for in the AFL. So have a lot of the same mascots, maybe a lot of the same colors, but over time, I think clubs take the opportunity to add their own flavor.
Cooper Lee's with the football now, sending that one down, and he's going to find a mark. And going back and taking that one is Peter O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy will find a connection and does so quickly to the end. We beg your indulgence. We don't have his name. He looks... He's got a headband. He's gone forward about 4 times. Decides now to play on. And, is he going to pay that? Yeah, he is. That was a spectacular mark. He had a defender on him like a fur coat, and he takes the mark 35 meters out. I think that might be Herman again.
Cleared a little space for himself, but you're right. Defender was wearing him all over him there, but nice grab.
Strides forward off of 3 steps, sends this one on the way. I think that may have drifted across the face. In fact, it has. Ended by 1 behind on the Watch AFL scoreboard. They go to 2-4-16, leading Arizona 2-1-13.
Drama potentially building. Swans have had a few inaccurate kicks. And convert those minor scores to major scores would have them out further on the scoreboard.
Team that finished, I believe, in 7th place a season ago in Division 3, or 6th place in Division 3 a season ago. As this one comes up on the far side, I think you may have some statistics for us here.
First half stats. Kicks pretty level, Swans and the Hawks. Like I mentioned, this game very different than the first one we called, Brian, where the pressure was so high. It was mostly handballs and hardball gets. This one a lot more open. Kicking Swans slight edge 18-14. Hawks doing a little bit more of moving the ball with the hands, and that's it tells it in the stat line. Just 3 of those effective handballs for the Swans to 12 for the Hawks. Pretty even on marks and free kicks as well. So the stat line really tells the same story we have qualitatively watching here, that these are very, very even sides, and the stats speak to that in the first half. Arizona with a chance here inside 50. Looks like that one drifted just right for a minor score, but they're starting to their scoreboard pressure in the second half as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another one, and now that takes them back to a 2-point game. 16 plays 14. As the Swans hanging on here, we mentioned, by the way, of course, that the Hawks have a number of players from the Sacramento Suns reserve side. The Suns playing up in Division 1 this year, SARS, and will be interesting to see how they go. It's the first time they've played in D1 after taking out D2 a season ago in exciting fashion, by the way, over Seattle. Be interesting to see how they do. I think they're, we saw them play Golden Gate in the grand final of the Western Regionals back in July in Utah, and we'll expound on that in a moment, because here is an inside 50 once again, and once again that is believe that is Herman who took the mark again. And he's going to play on quickly as he went back. Oh, but it's going to be almost intercepted there, and then going after it again. That was picked off by almost picked off by Justin Williams, and then the ball goes down. Everybody ties it up. The umpire crosses himself like the Monsignor, and we'll have a ball up.
Jeez, goal-saving effort by Williams there. Just fingertips to get to that. Thought there was that opportunity to get in closer and a little more high percentage shot, but Williams coming in with the intercept.
Yeah, it was like a mirage. It disappeared pretty. All good. Another mark in front again by the unnamed 34.
Got his name.
Yeah, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I had a baller. Anyway.
To slot one of these through the middle sticks here to extend this lead. I think if can sneak one here and get back in front.
Sends this one up on the, but it did just sneak inside the behind post. And another point. They're just adding on drips and drops here and there.
Leaving the door open though.
Yeah, the door is ajar. The door is ajar. 2-5-17 to 2-2-14 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. The Swans lead by 3 points. Brian Barish alongside Dan Sarbacker. Glad to have Robert leading the proceedings over on Field 2. And SARS is going to give us an update of some sorts, or at least he's taking a look at the other game as this one is sent in.
Looks like Minnesota Freeze and Nashville there behind us.
Well, hang on. This is Stu Nickel with a shot for goal for the Swans, and that one tails away. It stepped in front. They have 2 men in front. There's a handball to Herman, who dribbles it home. Oh, what a good job by the Swans, who threw all sorts of pressure in front, and getting the goal there was Tim Herman, who got the handball across. Nickel with a great job in front, and I forget who that was in front there, but it was the 34 who found Herman, and that's the first goal in a while we've had, and that gives them a little bit of breathing room. 3-5-23 Chicago, 2-2-14 Arizona. Watch AFL scoreboard.
About the flow of the game, and sometimes teams score against the flow. Swans scoring with the flow there. They've had the better bit of play, but against the style. They've been kick to kick mostly, taking big marks, set shots. That one they got from just working on the ground and hard work in the forward 50.
That's what we call a lunch pail goal, because it was very very worker-like. As the ball comes down in the middle of the ground now, once again, what can Arizona do here? They need to find a little bit of room to get some of their disposals away, and right now they are suffocating them in, and we'll have a ball up on the wing position in front of our Gridiron Productions with the crew, including our local camera crew, for bringing you this action as the ball gets down in the middle of the ground. Going to get sent this one into the top of the 50-meter arc. Going to bounce in front. Oh, good job there of getting away by Jeff Kramer, a guy who I feel like he's been around. He's been around a long time, but he was a former national team player. Played in the 2017 himself pretty well.
Yeah, I just at the very tail end of my career with the Swans in his early days. You're right, Brian. 2017 International Cup. So I would have had back sense about him.
Yeah, he's really, and you know what? It's funny because you think about a number of the guys who's come and played full. I remember, we got last year, you got Timmy Linfeld, who played really well in that back. Half full forward, something like that. That's 3/4 of a fullback, and that's not even anyway, ball comes back in the play. As the Swans now with that 9-point lead, wearing pretty well so far, as they're trying to get off to an early start. Reelected.
Secretary of the USAFL, early teammate of mine in the St. Louis Blues days.
Fantastic job. And you know what? You talk about, we'll see them at some point a little bit later on. How about them? It was really two or three guys just keeping the club going for a few years. Come back, and we'll talk about them more in a second, as Abernathy takes the mark in front or defensively, doing so in front of Tim Herman, coming out to the near side, and it's through the hands there of Gunda Paneni, and he gets taken down, going to get picked up, just getting free there was Halliday. Halliday sends that one inside 50, almost taking the mark was Nickel. Going to get handballed back. Oh, big tackle put in front there. Was it clean? Yes, it was, and a good job by Colin Murphy, and that ends that. They'll be able to get it out. But just to finish the thought, as Duckworth takes the mark, how about St. Louis? Now, all of a sudden, Rich Lozano coming back, Zitko, who's been there for the entire time, Jim Martin. They've done a really good job of reestablishing themselves.
Yeah, obviously disappointing to see the club, down to just a few guys after my time there. But it's the ebb and flow. I had to move away to go back to grad school, and that's just what happens over time. But yeah, great to see them back. They were Division IV winners last two flags ago, I think it was, Brian. So actually combining with two of the most recent Div 4 flag winners, the Wombats and the Blues. So you see a goal there.
And a goal there, and there's the Hawks. They've creeped back into this one. They go to 3-2-20. And now it's back to a 3-point game on the Watch AFL scoreboard, and there cannot be much time left in this first game. I'll tell you what, as we've said a couple of times, it's Saturday morning especially, this is a 1-8 game. Chicago, the 1 seed in this 8-team division.
Yeah, close match. It has been all the way along. Again, we mentioned earlier, talking about against the flow. Chicago really, with the better bit of play in the second half, they've had more of the football, more scoring chances, more forward 50 entries, but Arizona against the flow, they're getting a goal and keeping this really tight.
Yeah, this is going to come right down to the wire, you would tend to think, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Chicago, how they're able to finish it out, if they make any sort of the changes defensively. And Arizona, well, they've got the notion as they try to get the ball forward. Fernandez sees the ball at his feet, going to pick that one up, gets away there from Jed Martin, and then he was taken down, but he was taken down high. Fernandez, who switches the play into the middle looking for Duckworth. Duckworth will play on, gets by one defender. And it's cut off by the fullback. And the Swans have ended that threat for now.
There's Fraser.
But he turns the ball over, and that's Nicholas Hall. Hall, maybe 2 kicks from goal here. And he's going to at least trot forward and send this one on its way. It's going to come in short. Got over everybody in front, but that will dribble through for a behind. The Suns will be okay with, or rather the Swans now as it's back down to 2 points. 3-5-23 Arizona. 3-3-21. Sorry, it's the other way around. Moments here in this second half.
Arizona just seeking for that goal to pip. Chicago would have wanted in that case. Got control again, but it's coming back down their throat.
Here it comes again off the top. It's going to stay in bounds. There is Typoletti who's in there, but I think we have a whistle coming all the way back.
I'm wondering if the umpire didn't like how the
it looks like it may have gone out of bounds before that. So, ball will come spinning back into play once again. Ball gets down. Is not really a number you see in Aussie rules and back in Australia, but of course the thing is looks like one of the Hawks was brought down without the football, and it will be nope. It looks like it was a good tackle.
Yep, Swans kick here. Little desperation here in the waning moments, as there should be. Tight game, 2-point game we've got, Brian, and a goal either way, will seal this.
And looking for Herman, but it's picked off. Arizona's got to move pretty quickly here. A goal will give them the game, you would think, as this one is sent down the wing, up on the far side now. Gonna bounce away, and a free kick given away. And again, it's, I believe that is, nope, might be Duckworth, who has the football. This one sent across, looking for Henderson. Ball goes to ground and then dropped. Kicked forward there by Merkley. Sent this one back the other way. Now sending this one across. Bounces in front of Ryan Ludostansky, who has the football now. He's able to swat it away from one defender. Sending this one up on the right. This one will go up high, and it's taken down and marked by Justin Williams. Williams with the football now. They got to be telling him. The bench has to be telling him to play a little bit quicker. Instead, he's going to take his time and go back and stride forward. Sends this one on the way. It's going to come in short, and it's picked off once again, and I believe this time it was picked off by Kramer. Getting it away now. Out to the near side, off the hands of Abernethy. And he's taken down, and it will be a free kick. And getting it now is Darren Bateman. Bateman will play on quickly. Good option to the near side for Duckworth. Duckworth, 2 kicks from goal. He's got a man there in the middle, but he's a bit of a sitting duck at the moment. No pun intended. Gonna get through, but I think even though Duck appealing for the goal, it's only a behind 1-point game. 3-4-22 Arizona. 3-5-23 Chicago. And we are getting pretty near the end as John and Paul want.
Yeah, Ducker trying to sell it to the umpire there, but I think the goal umpire was looking at the ball and not his.
And here's an opportunity now. If a 1 point would salvage a draw in 329 games of calling footy. I love the women's because that ended a draw after 4 meters. But right now, after 4 quarters, but right now, here's an opportunity. And that one is still, the ball is up on the far side, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
And almost drawing level. Chicago back in their forward line, though. More comfortable space for them. Keep this ball locked in up there for the rest of the game.
The Hawks, the ball for the Hawks is 160 meters from where they need to be, and they have the wind with them. But to be fair, SARS, I don't think the wind's been much of a factor today other than just lining up for kicks as this one gets dropped in front. The Hawks need to get the ball forward and quickly. Swans trying to hem them in like a good pair of sewing machines or something as the ball game it is. So the Swans hang on by the hairs of their chin to a 2-point victory. They win this opening Division III game The final score of the Watch AFL scoreboard, 3-6-24 to 3-4-22. A fantastic game here in the opening for both sides. And I think it really kind of shows how open this division is. Chicago didn't win this game convincingly, but Arizona stayed until the end.
No, 100%. The scoreboard told the truth on this one, Brian. It was hotly contested. Not the straightest kicking, but that's because of the pressure. Both sides really evenly matched. I think it was a really great effort. And we've got Ian Fraser coming in, fullback for the Swans. This was an awesome defensive effort. I think you don't know it early in the game, but some of those defensive plays and the fact bend, but don't break were really critical here.
Yeah, really, that was the difference in the game. Ian, congratulations on the victory, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, very kind. We're very excited to get that over the line. That was very tight at the end there.
Yeah. What's been your, obviously, coming in?
The USAFL 2024 Nationals is brought to you by Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Coopers, Australian made and owned. Coopers Beer. Visit Austin, live music capital of the world. Two Hands Hospitality, fueling your lifestyle. Watch AFL. Stream every match.
Can't argue with anybody giving their all.
Where are you from originally?
I'm British.
Yeah, awesome. I was going to say it's going to be a little bit warmer and a little bit later on. How do you think of the conditions right now?
Yeah, I was struggling out there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It was 40 degrees when I left London on Tuesday. But I was playing last weekend in the Euro Cup for Scotland.
How did that go? Really quickly.
We were a little bit disappointed. We finished 9th, but we were mixing it with Ireland in our pool game. We were down by a goal with about a minute to go, and then we were trying to bomb it long out of defence, and our full back on the day managed to slice one to one of their half forwards, and to mix it with the tournament winners.
Yeah.
Obviously, then to not get out the pool and end up winning a few games out to finish 9th.
I mean, we watched Ireland. We've seen Ireland play. We know how good they are. And to go toe to toe with them is a big deal. How many nationals is this for you?
This is my first one.
The first one.
Yep.
What do you think of that? I mean, you've only been here and you've been out of the way, but what do you think of it so far?
Yeah, no, the setup's great. Like all these pitches, obviously, yeah. I guess the equivalent I can relate to is the Euro Cups, where you have sort of 4 or 5 pitches and a good setup. But yeah. Everyone here, like there's hundreds of people here. This is actually brilliant to see.
Well, enjoy the rest of the weekend, mate. Hey, congratulations on the victory. Best of luck to you and the Swans, and keep it up. And we'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon in the grand final, maybe.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Cheers. Ian Fraser, our Tasmanian player of the game, and a great job by him and the rest of the defense. And our thanks to him for coming over and chatting. So that will do it for this one. Again, repeating the final score: Chicago 3-6-24, Arizona 3-4-22. As we take a look at the matches coming up here across the grounds, hey, it's time for the women. As first a couple of women's matches here on Cooper's Field, it's the Calgary Kookaburras and the Sacramento Suns. Over on Field 2, and this is, of course, Women's Division 2, it's the Quebec Saints and the DC Eagles. And then we have Men's Division 2 action over on Field 3, Baltimore and Austin, Seattle and Columbus over on Field 4 in Men's Division 2, and Division 5 action between Rome and the New York reserve side. We'll be back for the opening game of Women's Division 2 here from Cooper's Field. Here from the Onion Creek Soccer Complex in Austin, Texas. You're watching the 2024 USAFL National Championships on USAFL.com. Thanks to Gridiron Productions. Are we out?
What time's the next game?
The USAFL 2024 Nationals is brought to you by Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Coopers, Australian made and owned. Coopers Beer. Visit Austin, live music capital of the world. Aussie Sports USA, the official apparel provider of the USAFL. Qantas Airlines, the spirit of Australia. The Australian Consulate General, Houston. Three Cuts Gin. Odin Mortgage and Tax. CyberSolve IQ, the inaugural cybersecurity partner of the USAFL. And by USAFL Foundation. Play on!